I'm gonna do, can I get Jonathan to come up here? We didn't practice at all in any way, so I don't know how this is gonna happen. Before I do the last poem, I'm gonna just do another one just to wear out my welcome as much as possible. I recently, I'm like really back into like the dating thing, because I like was in a long relationship and it didn't work out, and then I had another thing, and I realized going on dates with people who like aren't artists, you know, like nothing to talk about. So this is a kind of a short poem about that. She asked me to meet her on 8th and I. There is a new black Volkswagen tightly split in between two. I'm sorry, there is a new black Volkswagen. She is perfect pedicure, full makeup. She is beautiful. We go for sushi. She works in a hospital and tells me she saw a birth today. It made her cringe. She tells me that she knows that Arab men can be misogynistic. She looks at what she orders and questions, what is this? She's beautiful. She is the type of girl that will let me kiss her after the 3rd date, will let me sleep with her only after the 3rd month. She is beautiful. She lets me pay for dinner with no hesitation. She tells me she wants to work at a job where she can change people's lives every day. She says she loves trap music. She is beautiful. She asked me to take my shoes off and play in the fountains with her. At 9:58 p.m. she asked to take me home. I tell her take me to the open mic. And yes, I am sure. I awkwardly hug her from the passenger side and get out. I smile. I shut the door. She does not know that I am a man not beaten by a pair of jacks, that I sigh with a bit of gray smoke, that I am a spotless jaguar, a hustler with tan arms, that I am fully clothed and always leaving. Sometimes we must tremble in the dark to feel beauty. And that's a poem.
There you go.
This is my last poem of the evening. It's a poem called Crash. I will use the accompaniment of Jonathan, who is actually, he says he's a fan of me, but I am a huge fan of you, sir. So I appreciate you very much. Let's get into this. It's a bit of a poem that took me a long time, 2 years to write. And I actually started writing it when I was in love with this girl, and by the time I finished it, it was a breakup poem. It's funny, but not funny. Here's a poem about breakup, and I hope you guys love it. I don't know what dreadful miracle keeps me from you. Sometimes I consider you the Henry Matisse of convenient excuses. It turns me into a loosely screwed light bulb. I flicker, reaching for your electricity despite this. There is an undying love here. Sounds beautiful. But things that are undead are rarely graceful, rarely affable. They are much more of a thunderclap. Trees can be beautiful, either blooming or lightning charred. In either instance, that tree has no say in the matter. It reminds us that free will is a scientific anomaly. In the end, we will return to our molecules. Love is a beautiful word, but it is collisions that create us. Atoms smashing together to create bigger, more beautiful things. And there you go, with your inertia. And there I go, unskillfully crashing myself back into your light bulb. It was perfectly boring when you were gone, so why did you come back? Was it spite? Was it on the nights where the moon disappeared, you needed someone to remind you that things can somehow be broken and whole at the same time? Or were you just a cautious mermaid trying not to pull her sailor too far down? Were you trying to save me? That's okay. Because I don't need your saving. Because I don't want to love you. I want to crash into you. Crater me. Hollow me like a comet of jack-o'-lanterns. Fill me with that lightning. Strike relentless. I screamed empty tape decks into the chill, asking if you still loved me. My answer usually came from the women I slept with to forget you. They told me that I owed you chances, that you just needed time. When I made love to them, I always pictured you with your dimples in your palm. The women that became fond of me, they spoke of your devilry. Your silent snickers at my infatuation. Loving you was like two Clydesdales pulling me from each arm. I guess I've always liked being torn apart by beautiful creatures. I don't know why I still write these things. I wonder if you still keep those whispers I gave you. You still get that half smile when I touch your chin. Today I prayed the world would end, so you didn't have an excuse to leave. I know this type of love seems paradoxical, contradictory, but this world was built on contradictions. The more gas a star has, the faster it dies. The most luminous thing in the universe is called a quasar. It is essentially an enormous black hole shooting out copious amounts of light. So somehow, by some ironic miracle, the darkest thing in existence somehow shines the brightest. Do not talk about masochism. This universe is comfortable with its. Leave me alone with mine. Some people are puzzle pieces or building blocks looking for acceptable counterparts, but not us. We are hard slabs of smooth edges that can only attempt to slope down as much as possible before we collide. If you would love me for one more night, I would make you the quote on my tombstone. I pray that you actually did love me, that I am not just a fool with a pen and a flair for death throes, a stonemason in his own house breaking, like sand, picking up hands, or brick walls, waiting to be crashed into. Jonathan Tusman. Thank you very much.